in the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix,
It's a QOC thing.
mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down.
We about to put you up on game. QOC, you gotta know the name. Keep it real, you know ain't nothing changed. Set the standard, staying in our lane. Yep, that's what you thought. Paying the cost, taking no loss. Keeping you up on what's happening. And now that I got your attention, let me mention this.
In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down.
Hypnotized by the black image, ooh, I ain't never told a lie, but they never give us credit for what we ever do. Cocoa butter, baby, you a trendsetter, ain't nothing better than you. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Just like a cherry, nobody taught you. My black queen, yeah, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Just like a cherry, nobody taught you. My black queen, yeah. My black queen, my black queen. Age like fine wine, and our souls are so divine. Ooh, we got so much confidence, and you already know this. Ain't no question about it. Pick up your head and just own it, yeah. My black queen, yeah. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Just like a cherry, nobody touches you. My
Action.
queen, my
What's going on, everybody? This is a new show. It is called In the Mix, where we are interviewing music, movie, and more in terms of the genres. I am your host, J. Marie, and I've got my guest host, E. Black, with me, and we are interviewing the lovely Miss Little D on air from K104. Welcome to
Hi, what up, what up, what up?
What is going on? We're excited to have you. I know I've had you on a few shows before, and I've done my research, so we're gonna get into a lot of questions.
I'm excited. Thank you for doing your research.
I done found out some stuff. So you be playing down stuff a lot. You
Do
play
I?
stuff down a lot. Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
people be telling me that.
You do. You do.
And this is my first time meeting you. This is my first time meeting you. And I heard you was from the boot.
I am Big Shreveport, Louisiana, 318 Ratchet City all day. You know what I'm saying? Home of the second largest TV and film production studio next to Tyler Perry. Shout out to 50 Cent.
Okay. Tell me about Shreveport, because I know about Lake Charles. I know a little bit about New Orleans, and I know about Meridian and Opelousas and them little southern part. But tell me about the boot. Tell me about your side.
Shreveport is in North Louisiana. So a lot of people like to say Shreveport is East Texas because we're so close to the border. We're not. We're very much Louisiana. We're very much crawfish and Mardi Gras. However, because we're so close to Texas, I'm talking, my mama's house is like 15 minutes from the state line. So we're influenced by both. I grew up listening to bounce music and Chameleonaire Paul Wall. The population is like 330,000, which I think is a little less than the city of Arlington. So is it a big city? No. Is it a town? No. It's like your regular small city, you know, it's ghetto. It's got some rich people there. It's got some hood people there. It's country. A lot of people there have not left or been anywhere. And so the closest big city is Dallas. I've been doing radio. I think I was doing radio 14 years before I got to Dallas. But when I got to Dallas, everybody was like, you made it.
14 years. Okay, so let's talk about that journey.
13 years. Yeah, I've been in Dallas 7 years. Ugh. Anyway, but y'all right, but my average in the city is about 3.5 years. I can't believe I've been here this long.
So are you a country girl? Are
No,
you a country girl or you a city girl?
definitely city. I thought I was country because I left Shreveport and went to Ohio, and I'm from the South, so I have an accent. Well, I had one. It used to be real thick, and so they made me feel like I was country. And then I started doing like actual country stuff, and I was like, no.
You started doing country stuff. What's
No.
country stuff? What?
I went to my first trail ride last year.
What?
And I was in Crockett, Texas, which is in the middle of nowhere. And it was just the open field and horses and 18 wheelers. What
Your face went in
Oh,
like
Willis.
4-wheelers, and everybody had on like camouflage and boots, and it was a line dance to every song. And I was like, yeah, I would never come to this for free. Wow. Now, like,
right.
people in the country, like, I grew up going to the woods and picking blackberries, hunting deer, eating squirrel sausage for breakfast. And squirrel sausage slap. Do not sleep. Oh, it's delicious. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm talking like everything from loading the shotgun, shooting the squirrel, cutting the head off, skinning the fur, taking the bullet out, making the meat, like the entire, like going fishing, doing all of that. But I would never do any of it now. I'm vegetarian. It makes me kind of sad. The squirrel sausage is delicious. At least the way my daddy made. Look at y'all faces. But y'all will eat a chicken. Y'all know before the chicken comes to the table, it got a head.
Now, don't you get to judging us now, LilD? Because
look at your face. You was judging my squirrel.
Look, I've had what they call
rare.
I've had 7 meat stew, and I still can't name you the other 4 meats that was in it. So I'm guessing I'll take your word for it.
You done had some possum, some raccoon. You done probably had
not the 7 meat. I don't even know chicken, beef, and pork. Tell us about like your journey. Well, like what made you get into radio? Because first of all, you don't look like you've been in radio a long time. And I'm saying by the look, period. Okay. So that's deceiving right there.
I wanted to be a rapper. And so yeah, I mean, I'm talking like I really thought I was gonna write for the Source magazine while I made it big as a rapper. And so when I was in high school, the night jock used to have freestyle contests every Friday. I called in and I won like 9 weeks straight. And this is back when you had to actually like freestyle, like catch the beat and it came off top of your head, killing everybody. They had my number because he would call me when it was time to rap or whatever. When I got to college, he was like, "Hey, you want to be on my show?" And literally I was like, I guess. In my mind, I was gonna like make my mixtapes in the back and all of that. And I did. I made some mixtapes in the back. I saw maybe like 70 of them. But
we listen and we don't judge, okay?
But I was his co-host weeknights from 6 to 10 for free. And I'm talking for free, as in no check. I was in college and I was working at like El Chico or somewhere. And I was so terrible. God, I was bad on radio. I was horrible.
Tell us about that journey. Okay.
I'm scared. Like he thought that like the way my energy was when I rapped would like transfer to me doing radio, and it did not. So I remember the first day, he didn't tell me nothing. There was no training. There was no like, here's how you do it at all. Literally, I walked in the studio and he was like, "All right, so yeah, you're gonna use these headphones. It's your microphone right here." And I'm like, okay. And so I'll never forget that first day. He was like, "Yeah, so you just want to amplify your voice and hold on. The big station, 99.7 KMJJ, Shreveport's hip hop and R&B leader, J Tech in the building, got LilD here. LilD, what up?" And I went, "I'm chilling." For 4 hours, literally all I said was, "I'm chilling." had the first staff meeting, and like we would critique each other's like all air breaks, and they let me have it so bad I almost cried. I'm talking, I had tears in my eyes. They roasted me. People in the city were saying I must have been sleeping with him to get the job. And like I was 19. I didn't even know people slept with people to get jobs. Like I didn't even know that was a thing. It hurt my feelings so bad, like so bad. And I was like, why did you ask me to do this? I'm not good at this. And he was like, I see something in you that you don't see in yourself yet. So I kept coming Monday through Friday from 6 to 10. And he would get on me every time. LilD, how was your weekend? Nobody cares, your mic is off. And I'm like, and he was just like, let me have it. And finally one day he said something to me and I went, well, you need to something with your fat ass. And everybody in the studio was like, oh, she finally got him. And LilD was born.
Oh, okay.
So it came from well, not a bullying situation. I don't want to say bullying, but it brought your confidence out.
Yeah, he needed to wake me up. And he finally got me to stand up for myself, and LilD came out. Because it had always been there. I was just so nervous and so shy and so scared and so timid on that microphone that it took him to continue like picking at me before I was like, hey, you know what? I'm sick of this. Let's go, bro. And then it came.
How do you, and you worked here, you worked there like that whole time on the radio station. That was when you started working there?
Yeah. 2005 in Shreveport. Shout out to KMJJ. I was in school on the radio from 6 to 10. I worked at the casino when I turned 21, and I finally had gotten started getting paid on the radio, $7 an hour. You know what I'm saying? 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. My own show called The After Party, and I think my first check was like $224 for 2 weeks of work.
How do you survive?
I 100% had 2 or 3 jobs at all times.
Okay.
My rent was $490. Man, those were the days. First of all,
right, $490 anything.
And I mean, I had a nice duck pond in the apartment. Like it was cool. It was a straight apartment, $490. But yeah, no, I had 2 jobs. I worked at the casino.
So you said 2005, and I actually moved to Texas around that time, and I remember Bootsy Badass and the Lava House. And can you tell me from your perspective? It seemed like the music during that time would be like the most poppin'est. Hurricane Chris, Big Papa. You know, oh man, I remember Big Papa.
You sound like you from Massachusetts. Where are you from?
I'm from Cali.
Oh, okay, it's giving.
Look, don't be bullying me on my own.
Listen, authenticity.
And Big Papa, those were great guys. That's funny.
When I tell you, she fit.
No, I remember that time. So, I mean, it was literally
live.
On the radio during that time.
It was live. Like I had one tattoo at the time, and Boosie show your tattoos that came out. And my one little tattoo, this a cover up, but before it was like this big. You could tell I was rolling up my sleeve, like, yeah, I'm gonna show my tattoo, man. Swerve had just came out. I had my first car, a 04 Dodge Neon. I was swerving in that hole like it was a big body Caprice. I remember Boosie once, and this is like Boosie's just now popular. Like this is before he was doing like shows at arenas, right? He performed at the skating rink. And in Shreveport, the skating rink was a big deal. He had 2 security guards with him. Like, we was like, man, that's Lil Boosie. Oh my God, like, bruh, he really here. Chameleon and Paul Wall used to come all the time and perform. Like, it was, man, what a time. What a time.
You feel like,
man, hold up, drank in my cup. Or what's the deal? I been popping pills. I done came down dripping wood grain grill, and then you just went from there. It was a really nice time.
I'm gonna just enjoy it vicariously.
Jamming on that screw. Yeah, I bang the red, cuz bang the blue. Always saying true. Man, we used to have ciphers. Like, oh my God.
No lie, when I moved from Cali down here, I heard Mo City by Zero.
Oh, still
And
know about
and that was the first time I heard it. And just the energy, like mind you, the club didn't start until 2 o'clock in the morning. That's unusual for me. So I was like, what why is everybody just where did and y'all party hard instantly. It's no warm up, no getting drinks. It's y'all hit the dance floor and y'all party for a good hour until it's time to shut down.
Remember when
That's
people
what I remember about the South.
Yeah, like the clubs did close till 4 or 5 a.m. And so we didn't even get there till 1:30. If you got to the club early, it was because you didn't have no money to pay and it was free before 11.
Yeah.
I did that a lot because we was poor. So we'd be in the club at 10:30 and just be waiting because there's nobody in the club. But eventually it paid off because everybody show up around 1:30 and then it's live. We really used to be in the club from 10:30 to about 4 a.m.
She said 10:30.
I'm like, shit, going to something at 10:30 is wild for me. That's wild. That's a I digress.
Do it now. Nowadays, you ask me to go somewhere, I'm gonna be home by about 11. I'm first.
They still doing their 90s mix right now. Like, look, that's all.
There was no one in the club. We had like $5 and that was for that one drink. So
I mean, that's so do you feel like your music do you feel like your voice is like kind of connected to music in a way? Because even though you may feel that you may have not been as good as you were, I mean, you connect with a generation of individuals who may have listened to it. Like, do you feel like you've connected in that way?
I used to, like in Shreveport, people used to know me more for rapping than radio.
Okay.
So, but I haven't rapped since like 08. So nowadays, not so much. But back.
Oh, 08 is a stretch, I think, LilD. It was something you did recently.
Like I might do like a little 16 because I'm bored. But like really,
I've seen something though.
Now you might find a 16 from like a year or two ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cute around. Like remember when they had the So Gone challenge over the Monica beat? I did one of those. I slid too. I ain't gonna hold you.
She's talking about. Let's stop with the capping. Let's stop with the capping because she over here talking about some. Nah, I ain't did nothing since I was born. You know what I mean? You know, just like. But yeah, it might be some stuff out there from last year.
I mean, yeah, there's some freestyle from I think 2023 I did, but that's really just because my homeboy asked me to do it, and I was like, all right, whatever. And I thought of the rap in the shower, and I was like, all right, let's go. But as far as like a song, a hook, let's go to the studio and like really do this. Yeah, y'all got it. I'm an auntie now. I ain't got that to do.
Rich auntie. Okay, rich auntie. That's what we doing.
Part, but yeah.
So working on what part?
I'm working on the rich part. But...
Rich part. We're gonna speak it into existence though. But let's talk about before you became LilD or that journey that got you to where you become more resilient in everything that you do now. Like what gave you that sense of resilience?
I've always wanted to be famous. Not even just famous. I wanted to be Tupac when I grew up. So in my mind, the more famous I could be, the more people I could help. Like I wanted to be like, dear mama, keep your head up, Tupac. And so even when I was rapping, like my whole goal was I'm gonna go on tour around the world because I can touch and help so many people. And so the thing that kept me going was if I stop, then I won't be able to help people. I always wanted to be the person who I needed when I was a kid. Like I was bullied a lot. People called me ugly. It was bad. It was real bad. And so I always wanted to be like that voice that I didn't have. Like I remember once I was in Toledo doing radio, and even though I had moved for radio, I still was kind of not looking at it as like an actual career. until this woman was like, my daughter looks up to you because she's chocolate and she has natural hair. And I was like,
Wow.
people can look up to you for doing this? I just be on there cussing and talking shit and being funny. You for real?
Right?
And it kind of hit me like, she's you. She's you. She's you when you
Representation matters.
all those things, and people were making fun of you because you dark skinned. Like, she's you. And now you have a chance to show her it don't matter. You are beautiful. And so a lot of my resilience literally just came from understanding my power. I don't take it for granted. Like, yeah, I've been doing it a while now, but I don't take that for granted. You know, I was homeless after I got fired in Toledo, and I could either go back to Shreveport or stay in Ohio. I stayed because I had gotten another job in Cleveland. Cleveland is 2 hours from Toledo. It wasn't enough money to move, but if I would have went back to Shreveport, I wouldn't have been on the radio, and I was out of radio for like a year and a half. So literally, I remember my daddy was like, you know, you can come home and start over, right? And I was like, Daddy, if I come home, I'll be on the radio again. And so I slept in my car in that little Dodge Neon or a motel. And I mean Mo, not ho, Mo. Oh.
You're catching me off guard.
Heavy on the Mo. But it would be Wednesday, and I knew I wouldn't eat till Friday. Like, it was hard. But I remember just telling myself, man, when you make it out of this, it's gonna make a dope movie. It made a book, but you know, that'll do.
And that's what I was going to go into, because I was segueing into that, the book. So let's talk about the book called Route 2. You got it? She got it? Of course you do. Of course.
Yeah. Route 2, My Choice to Struggle to Succeed.
Let me get that.
It covers the 3 months that I chose to be homeless so I wouldn't lose my radio job. It begins with the day I moved out of my house in Toledo, and it ends with the day I moved into my apartment in Cleveland. And I was hosting events, hosting shows. No one at the station knew. There will be times where the only thing I ate that day was some pastries that my coworker had brought to the station. I was on air Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to noon, and I worked at Frito-Lay throughout the week. And my check from Frito-Lay would be like $198, and my motel was $187 and $167 and some change. And the rest of it had to go in my tank because I got to drive to Cleveland to do my shift the next day. And the little change I would have left over, I would go to this truck stop across the street. They had a buffet, and I would just load up a to-go container with all the vegetables and sides and stuff, and try my best to stretch it out until about Wednesday. And by Wednesday, I just knew I wouldn't eat until Friday. Sorry.
What the fuck?
Like, I had friends who would like order me pizza and, you know, look out for me, but it was very tough.
Here's Route 2. Is that a real route?
Yeah. When you drive from Toledo to Cleveland, you can take the toll, and it's like $5, or you can take the back streets, and that's Route 2.
Okay.
I wouldn't spend it at $5 on no toll.
But you.
And it was dope because, like, the way there, you pass through all these little small towns and cities, and it would be like farmers markets and all these places I couldn't afford to eat. And I used to just be driving through there like, man, one day I'm gonna be able to afford to stop at that farmers market and see what's up. By the time I could, I had already moved. But the point is, I was trying my best to keep myself motivated. Like, you'll get through it. Like, I would pull over at hotel parking lots and rest areas and just take a nap sometimes because my shift started at 9. So I'm up at like 5 a.m. and then I got to drive to Cleveland. That's 2 hours. Then I got to drive back. So sometimes I would just be so tired I wouldn't make it. And I would just have to pull over into a rest stop, crack the window. It's July. I don't want to get robbed, but I'm like dozing off. I got to pull over and sleep. It was a lot. But the book is about the mindset of somebody who would bet on themselves in that way. Because I could have went home. I literally could have gone home, and I didn't.
Because I've never thought about a job. I wish the fuck I would do something for a job like that. I'm sorry.
And being homeless. Let me tell you, I
I
was.
mean, but that is so much grit, girl. First of all, I know your story and I wanted you to tell it. First of all, but I'm blown away with you still telling it because I'm like, huh? It's the fact that it's like, what would you do for your dreams? Like, I ain't never had to do that at all. With
And
kids too. And
I thought the book was about
wow.
like betting on myself. To be honest, that book is really about what happens when you don't ask for help. Like
Mm.
they were pissed at me. My friends were so mad at me. Like my best friend was like, "Nigga, you went through all of this. Why the fuck you ain't say nothing?"
Yeah.
Was $300, and I missed it for 3 months and got evicted. Now back then, I don't know if any of my friends had $300, but I know I could have asked like 4 or 5 and gotten the $300. And I ain't asked. I never said anything because in my mind, my whole life had been hard, and so it was like this is something else I'm going through. Like I don't know, I figured out, and I never looked at myself as worthy of help.
And I'm not being funny. I don't want to be funny, but what was you listening to in the car during them times? What was in your tape deck?
That's because I still had a CD player, so I had the biggest CD book, and because I'm a nerd, they were in alphabetical order. So what was out in 2011? Wale Ambition, I think.
Okay, yeah, Wale. That was early Meek Mills, Rick Ross.
So you
First,
were picking
right?
motivational trap music, rap music kind of stuff. You weren't picking the shit that's gonna have you ready to off yourself or something like that. Because
I was already sad.
some people be like they want to feed that though, and I'm like, no, why feed that? The light got me looking like an angel.
If you during the drive, you could get the radio station really early, and so I was listening to the radio, studying the other jocks. Like,
really?
To Cleveland, they don't. Cleveland is the country small city in Ohio. Cleveland thinks that they New York, and so they have a higher standard and everything. So they was already looking at me like, is she even gonna be good enough? Like, so I was just listening to them, trying to be great, trying to study and listen and take tips from them on my drive there. And it made me feel like I'm going to Cleveland. Like, oh shit, like we made it.
So you actually studied.
I don't know nothing about Cleveland, but yeah.
Okay. So you actually studied other jocks.
Mm-hmm. Even when I moved to Cleveland, I used to go like I was only on air on the weekends, and so during the week I would go on tour through different like apps on my phone and listen to different jocks in different cities.
Really?
On tour.
Is that why you asked me why I'm so sounding like this? Like I'm from Maine.
I swear, I was like, where young man? Straighten up.
She's like, I didn't pick up your station. You.
Yeah. So you Rhode Island.
Oh
man. I mean that's dope, man. Because like for real, like we've all gone through rough patches, but you went through a whole lot of rough patches.
Yeah, I don't recommend anybody do that. Ask for help. I don't care how.
Listen, give them the cheat code. What do you feel you would have done differently had you not done radio, or would you have ever considered not doing radio?
I guess I would have gone back home and worked at a call center and been miserable. Like I'd probably, I don't know, maybe be married by now to somebody I'm fairly can tolerate and just be miserable. I would have been miserable. Like even when I was in Shreveport, before I ever left and went anywhere, I wanted to be in New York. I wanted to go places and see stuff and see what big cities were like. And so I've always had it in my heart and in my spirit to like go places and see stuff and be somewhere bigger. So I would be miserable.
Damn.
I'd be miserable. I'd have probably went back to school and got a degree in something because at some point you're going to need a job.
Exactly. You got to have a job. You got to pay bills.
Got the job in Cleveland when you got the job in Cleveland, you said it took a year.
No, 3 months. I was
It took
home.
it took
Going.
you 3 months. Did you do the whole Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness cry?
Oh,
No, well, kind of. I was in Cleveland. I was still in my house in Toledo, and I had went up there and I interviewed, and he offered me the job, and I was like, yes, oh my God. And I was trying to play it cool, whatever. But I got in the car and I called everybody. I got the job. Oh shit, you got it. Okay, what's up? Now listen, it's only Saturdays from 9 to noon, but hey, I work there. I'm gonna be on there. You gotta wake up early and hear me. But when I got home, Charlamagne had texted me, and he was like, "I'm proud of you, kid. Learn everything you can." What is proud of you?
Charlamagne Tha God, like Breakfast Club. Charlamagne Tha God.
Yeah, he was a reference on my resume, and so my boss at the time, well, in Cleveland, was like, Charlamagne for real, and I'm like, yeah, and he was like, so if I call him, what he gonna say about you? And I was like, he gonna tell you I'm dope. That man called Charlamagne in front of me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I wasn't lying. But he was like, look,
Right.
period.
Man, that was dope.
Charlamagne Tha God, come the fuck on, hold on, because I thought you just had got up there. So she had been on the Breakfast Club, by the way. Let's talk about that. Let's spill that tea. How was that experience?
To be honest, it felt like a normal day at work, which, and like not to downplay it, it felt like what I thought it should feel like when you walk into a radio station on morning show. It felt dope. Like Charlamagne and Envy was still there early. They were there prepping, getting ready, doing the same things that I do. The producers were super nice. Everybody knew their job. No one had to say, hey, we demand excellence. It was understood. And to be in an environment where everyone understands you're going to be excellent or you have no reason to be here, that was fire. Everybody was super nice, very supportive. It was dope. The building itself was real dope. But it was cool. And I'm grateful that I was able to, I guess, show myself like, yeah, you're ready for this level. Because I was
absolutely. Because I saw that, I'm like, is she interviewing them or what's happening? And then I was like, huh? What? I was so happy for you. So,
and then
that was a dope experience. But you've had more because you also ghostwrite.
I do.
Or have ghost written past tense, or maybe it's future.
I ghost wrote a book for DJ Chaotic, who is 50 Cent's DJ. It'll be out April 4th. And shout out to DJ Chaotic, because like as a ghostwriter, you don't have to tell anyone who wrote your book. But he is telling people like, if you don't, y'all need to look at LilD. Amazing. She is such a dope writer. Like, I'm so grateful to her. And he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to let me put my name on the cover.
That's what I was about to say. They don't normally do that.
So 50 Cent is writing the foreword to the book. My name will be on the cover with 50 Cent. Like,
that's fucking dope. I'm so excited for you.
This full circle shit, right? I was on the Breakfast Club, and even though we all kind of knew they was gonna hire Just Hilarious, I still made a video, and I was like, top 5 reasons I'll be back. And I made it while I was at the Breakfast Club. And when this book comes out, Chaotic is going to the Breakfast Club for an interview. Guess who's going with him? So I'm gonna repost my.
Girl, I'm so excited for you. I hate that I turn red when I yell. This shit
real red. It's giving plum, but it's okay.
I'm trying to get out the excitement. The white
so it's one thing. Okay, it's one thing to rap. It's one thing to be on radio. It's one thing to even write a book about the stuff that you went through. But now you're helping other people.
Oh yeah,
that's always been my goal. Like when I was a kid, I like even when I was a rapper, I've always just wanted to help people. Always. Like I got made fun of as a kid. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I would get dogged at jobs and I didn't know how to stand up for myself. And so once I gained the confidence and the thick skin and all the things you really need, now I'm like, I have a responsibility because I'm not the last person in the world who had low self-esteem. I'm not the last little girl who don't like how she look because she dark skinned. Even with K104, I wanted to work there most of my career, right? And I used to look at the staff like they don't have one dark skinned person working there. Go through the history of the morning show.
No, ma'am, I don't have to. I know.
And so I used to really just be like, man, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna get there, bro. Like, watch. Like I'm not the last person to not feel good about herself or be made to feel less than beautiful because of how they look. And so I really take that responsibility seriously because it's not even just little girls, it's grown women who don't like how they look, who don't feel good about themselves. And I'm gonna use myself as an example every time. Like, baby, look here, you are perfect the way you are. Now tell yourself if you believe it.
So how did you connect with the story? Like it's one thing to say, hey, I'll help you out with your book. You know, somebody might have a scratch paper somewhere, but how did you kind of connect with DJ's story?
DJ Chaotic.
It's crazy because me and Chaotic work.
I didn't want to mess up his name, so that's why
I'm like, oh shit. I don't have his name in front of me. I'm sorry. My bad, DJ Chaotic.
We 97.9, and when I got there, it was 2018. I had no idea like that his son had passed in 2015. No idea. I know nothing. I'm new to this city. I don't know nothing about nothing. And then I saw him post one day, and I'm like, oh my God, he had a son and his son died? And like the post was literally just like, I'm missing you and I love you, son. It wasn't an explanation. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know how old his son was, like nothing. I was damn sure wasn't finna ask. So me and him just stayed cool. He actually DJ'd my book documentary viewing, and I don't even think I paid him. I don't even think he asked me for no money. But after I got fired, we just stayed cool. He would check on me, and like when you get fired in radio, like you kind of just fall off with everybody. But he always checked on me. He will always tell me like, I'm gonna write a book. You wait till I get the money. I'm gonna pay you to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready when you are. And when 50 hired him, clearly he got that bank now. And he asked me to write it. I shed real tears writing that book because now I have to be you. Like I'm writing this book like I'm you. So you got to the entire story. And I have to ask you things that are going to make you uncomfortable. And then he would send me audio back with the answers. Chaotic story is, I'm not going to say similar to mine, but we have a lot of things in common. 2015 was the worst year of that man's life. It was the worst year of my life. 5 people died that year, starting with my father and ending with my grandma. It was a horrible year for me. And I was in Ohio, so every time somebody dies, I got to get on the plane to hug my family and then get back on the plane and go to work. There's not a grieving period. And my grandma was the closest person to me. So it was very tough. You know, he grew up where both of his parents were on drugs. I know that story too. My mom was. Grew up real poor. And I didn't grow up real poor. We definitely ate every day. Chaotic didn't eat some days because both of his parents smoked up the rent and the grocery money. And he would be, that man's story, when you read the book and see his story, he deserves a single good thing that is, oh my God. But anyway, like in particular, one way I connected with it, we finally got to the chapter about his son. In 2015, you remember that Wiz Khalifa song? It's When I See You Again. I hate that song. Not
I hate it too.
But my little cousin here died, and I had to come home for the funeral, and that was the song that they played for his slideshow. So at the wake and at the funeral, the song is just on a loop over and over and over. And I'm doing radio, and that song is very popular, so it's coming on while I'm on. I hate that goddamn song. That song, Chaotic Son, at the funeral. And so as I'm writing the chapter, I remember I'm sitting on my balcony writing, and I turn the song on because I need to listen to it so I can be in that mind frame to be you, feel what you feel as you wrote it. And I mean, I shed a lot of tears as I'm writing this chapter. But that's how I know it's real. You're supposed to cry when you writing a chapter as if your son died. How could I write that and not feel it? Because if you don't feel it, what you writing it for? And I mean, I had to ask him things like, when you got to the morgue, was his body still warm? Like, I got to ask you, I need to know, because it was real tough for both of us. But he said it was really hard, but it was therapeutic. It was rough. But, and we had maybe like 3 chapters that were really, really hard. And I'm listening to his audio that he sent me back, and I can hear his voice breaking up as he's answering the questions. But I feel like if you're going to be a good ghost, your job to take on those emotions and be them. So I need to feel it. I need to close my eyes, and I need to be at the morgue looking at my son. And writing is something I try at. I'm just really great at it. And so I'm able to put myself in there. Radio helps with that, because at the end of the day, when you get on the radio, you're a character. So now the character playing is DJ Chaotic.
People don't understand that about the personas. I've tried to explain, like, no, it's a persona. They're not really like that. No. I talk to her all the time. No. She's cool as shit. No. You know, and it's these things that you don't really recognize that has helped form, like, your, what's the word? It helped form just like the way that you attack things naturally now. Because with radio, with everything that you're doing, with that book that you're writing, with these different endeavors that you have, that level of resilience and that level of determination, and then trying to be like that person that speaks to people, speaks light to people, do you feel like that comes from the fact that you were bullied, you were picked on, and those type of things? Do you feel like people in your position turn out to be people like that in their later years from being bullied and that sort of thing?
I tell people, I think maybe like a couple years ago, I was like, I think that all people in entertainment we are all here because we trying to work out something inside of us that made us really sad. Like, LilD was my alter ego. It was like the cool part of me that probably could have sat with the cool kids at the table. Like, LilD was just who I wished I could have been when I was a kid. And that person has grown now into someone who understands, bitch, I'm the table. If you don't want to be at my table, something wrong with you. Like, my table now.
Bring the table to the table. Exactly. We bring the table to the table now. That's what it is. That's
definitely how LilD really
so how do you
full version.
So how do you balance like authenticity with like the audience engagement? Like I heard you say, you know, radio, you're a personality, but it is still a part of you. How do you kind of gauge how far you want to go, left or right or up or down, or
that's a good one.
You know, mixing.
I keep my personal life and my professional life real separate. Like, no one knows my government name. It damn sure ain't D, but that's what y'all gonna call me. Like, to the point where I used to have 2 phones, and the only people who had that one number was family and friends. When you get up in the morning, well, at least for me, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is pray and look at myself, like, not Lil D, but me. And before I go to sleep, same thing. Lil D is a part of me, but after doing it for so many years, you learn how to develop the character, and you understand that she's just a part. She's what I do. She's not who I am. And so, you know, I'll ask myself sometimes, I'll get ready to post on Instagram, and maybe I'm on my period, I'm in my feelings, and I have to stop and be like, hey, will Lil D say this? Okay. What Lil D say about it? Because, like, at the end, I know the character, and I can't say I know me. I know Lil D. Lil D is not me. Lil D is a job, and you have to understand he is a job. So what would Lil D put for this caption? Because sometimes I be wanting to put shit like, I felt so cute when I put this on. I did my eyeliner right. I was so proud of me. But then I gotta remember, bitch, you Lil D. Of course you did your eyeliner right. You're you.
Oh, no. That's a good point, because when I met her a few years ago on my podcast, you told me something. You said, and it stuck with me for years after. You said, don't ever let nobody tell you you're not supposed to be here. And afterwards, I cried like, because it was like you command your own show. You command your shit. You do it. And you show up for yourself every day, but you show up as a version of yourself to the world.
It's
And
the
you own
version I want people to understand that, like, I wasn't always here. Like when I was, after I left Cleveland, I went to Columbus, Ohio, right? I was in Ohio for 10 damn years. But anyway, my
Wow.
first year, I was a producer on a morning show and like the third chair. So I ain't talk a lot, but I was there to talk also. Literally, I had two co-hosts, a guy and a woman. The first thing that woman said to me after the first show, my first day, she went, I was told you weren't going to talk. How you so insecure about me taking your spot or being scared or whatever. That's the first thing she said to me. And she must have been cool with people in the higher upper management, because the show was from 6 to 10 a.m. and they made it to where I couldn't talk until 8 a.m. to satisfy her. I wasn't always, commanding and being that voice, because so many people made me feel like I wasn't supposed to be there, and then I believed them. And I internalized. I didn't have enough confidence to realize, oh, you're jealous. I would just be like, why they don't like me? I'm like, well, I didn't do nothing. So when you grow in yourself, you gotta start telling yourself the truth. Like, you'll see yourself and be like, I don't understand. But when you understand how dope you are and you finally believe it and you finally accept that you dope as shit and maybe you are the best person in the room, everything else start making sense. Like, bitch, you are really jealous of me. Wow. I don't care.
And then you move accordingly. And then you move accordingly.
Yeah, like when you walk in a room, take your seat because you're supposed to be there. Them people in Columbus called me. I didn't apply for that job. They called me and asked me if I wanted to come to Columbus. You mad?
Oh,
Same thing.
okay.
Before. I was sitting at home unemployed, picking my nails, doing a bunch of nothing, and they called me. Talking about, hey, you got time in your busy schedule to come work for us? And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, hell yeah, I do. I ain't doing shit else. But I was like, I might squeeze.
She said, I ain't doing shit else.
Right. Just like, let me check my calendar.
Let me check my calendar.
Just double check a few things.
I might have been texting people for me and then got off the phone like, bro, I'm about to work.
Oh man. So been in Ohio for 10 years. How'd you make your way back down south?
Making my way downtown. So Vita Loca. I was Ohio, and not just Ohio, but I worked for a company where I realized I wasn't gonna grow. They would promote people based on how they look, and I had been told, like, maybe you should straighten your hair, maybe you should wear more makeup, maybe you should be more feminine presenting. And this makeup wasn't like this when I was up there. I didn't know what I was doing. I barely wore makeup. And so I just got to the point where I was like, well, this company obviously don't mess with me, whatever. So I was sending my air check to everybody. And I started following Vita, and then I ain't know her. She followed me back, and I'm like, oh shit. And mind you, I knew Vita because half my family lives in Dallas. So I would hear her on the beat, like I knew, and she did radio in Shreveport. So I been knew who Vita Loca was. And I always said, like, man, she went from Shreveport to Dallas. Bro, I could do that. Okay. And so I DM'd her one day and I was like, I just, I really look up to you because I've been listening to you forever. And would you listen to my stuff? And she was like, yeah, we looking for a midday jock. And I didn't, because she worked for the same company that I was done with. And she didn't have to tell me that. She could have had a homegirl on radio who she could have told about this job. But she told me. And so I emailed them, I applied. And when I say I applied, I not only sent the email and applied, but I mailed this man my air check on like a flash drive or something. Like, you gonna listen to this. And I think I said it like FedEx. just to make sure you got it. We ain't leaving it outside the door. You gonna listen to this air
check. What the
An
hell?
air check is the audio
I'm sorry.
like on air breaks. So like me on air, me talking to listeners, or just like all the little funny clips and all the best of me on the radio. That's how you get a radio job.
Oh, okay. Air clips. Oh.
And I think, yeah, I sent him I FedExed him like a flash drive with my air check on it. And then he emailed me back and he was like, you know, we're going to check it out and this and that and whatever. And then I sent him an edible arrangement to thank him for listening to it, calling me. I was not playing.
Wow.
And then when
now, were you not playing because you wanted to get out your situation, or was it because of the opportunity?
I was like that though. Every job, every opportunity I saw, I did extra stuff like that.
Okay.
Charlamagne used to tell
like
me
that worked against you though, because you know they say you do things outside of your job description, then people assume that you're just gonna do that regardless of whether they paying you for it or not. Do you feel like that worked against you?
I don't think it worked against me, but I don't know if it necessarily helped either. Because like some jobs just aren't your job, you know?
Right.
Like some just don't want to hire you. Most male PDs only hire women who they want to sleep with. So if I'm not your type, you're not gonna hire me no way. But so
male PDs. Let's define that. What's a PD?
Program director. So like your boss, the
Oh,
person.
Okay.
My bad. But
no, we don't know your terms.
At 97 on the beat, and he was the first PD I had who didn't care how I looked or how many followers I had or how fat my ass was. He literally just cared that I was talented and dope. But Vita Loca, to bring it home, when they flew me down for the interview, you know, they introduced me to everybody, and Vita had her own morning show at that time. And literally, she saw me and she went, LilD, ran up to me and hugged me. I have never met this woman in my life. Ran up to me and hugged me like we was cousins and ran my resume down to my boss before he was my boss. She didn't have to do that. I didn't know this woman. Like, I'll fight
some radio matter, though?
Never met her in real life.
Looks and radio matter? Looks in radio matter? Am I cutting out? Oh, okay. I thought my audio was cutting.
Looks in radio matter 1,000%, especially nowadays with social media. Like, you'll have some bosses, and it's very rare, but you'll have some bosses who don't care, but 98% of them, they care. You'll get passed up for jobs because you're not pretty, or, you know, maybe you wear your hair in a fro and they like girls who wear wigs. I've not gotten jobs because I don't have 100,000 Instagram followers. Hell, that happened a couple years ago.
That's
interesting. Okay, no,
what do you think about the crossover between podcasts and radio?
They have nothing in common whatsoever.
Really?
They're not in any way at all. Like, I would never do a podcast, and people who do podcasts 9 times out of 10 aren't good on the radio. They're not the same.
Give us a couple of reasons why they're not the same, because you would think that somebody who listens to a podcast on their Spotify account or Apple account would enjoy radio and they would be interchangeable.
Maybe for a listener, but like as someone trying to do it, no. To me, I feel like you listen to a podcast because you like that person and you like what they're talking about or who they interview. And with radio, you might like the person on the radio, but 85% of radio is music. So are you really a person, or are you trying to hear this Megan Thee Stallion, this Cardi B song? And then as far as like a job, we talk for 60 seconds and that's it. You on a podcast, we've been on this podcast for an hour now. That, you know what I mean? So like, they're not the same thing. I have 60 seconds to tell you what's going on, make it funny, and then tease what's coming on after that. If we're on a podcast, we got time to go, hey y'all, how you doing? That's what's up. My name is LilD. Hey, we gonna talk about, you just wasted 17 seconds and they said shit.
Wow.
Okay, just throw us under the motherfucking bus. No. I
She
do
do that all the time. That's why.
And
no, I do think it is different though.
yeah, it's not and people who are good on podcasts, it doesn't necessarily transfer to radio. They're two different formats. Like a podcast,
You have to with the radio. It's more behind the scenes that you have to know.
yeah.
Let me say my assumption from seeing y'all when you and Trey G sometime when y'all would do the behind the scenes stuff, and you messing with all the colorful buttons. Okay, whatever that shit is, all the board. That's what you have to know. That's what the skill set is. Is it not? Or is it other things outside of radio that are skill sets that are like that make it different from podcasting?
I can teach anyone that board in 10 minutes. That's the first thing you learn in radio. It only looks like a lot because you're not there. If you were there, I could teach you those buttons literally in 10 minutes. Like they're labeled. And all those buttons do is control volume for different things. Literally.
I mean, I know that, but
the thing is everything outside of being in the studio. Are you posting on Instagram? What you look like when you post? Are you out in the streets? Are you hosting events? Are you saying what's up to people? Are you creating the persona online? When you on your period and you cramping and you want to go home and eat ice cream and cry, are you still showing up because you got to? If somebody died and you sad as fuck, are you still, and you just found out about it 17 seconds before it's time to get back on the radio, are you gonna run to the bathroom and cry, or are you gonna do your job? Radio is very much light, camera, action. The show will go long. We do not hear. And it's giving all of yourself and all of your energy to other people and then dealing with your own shit when you get off. That's the part about radio. So many times, so many phone calls I've gotten, like people telling me somebody died while I'm on the radio because they didn't look at radio like a real job, so they didn't care. And they don't understand, like, I have to get on this radio and you literally just told me somebody died bad and I want to go cry, but I can't because I got to give away these tickets.
My eyebrows have just been doing the most. We got the eyebrow.
Let's not miss the ticket part. Do you really be having them tickets?
Yeah.
Because they be saying that they don't have no more tickets.
I'm trying to get no tickets on the radio. Hold on.
We don't in our hand physically. The promotions department has all of the giveaways. All I do is look every day and see what they got to hear for me to give away. But if it's in there for me to give away, I'm gonna get that shit away, and then y'all that's on them after that. Okay. I'm gonna take call at 10 and go on by my day.
Do it really be calling 10?
Sometimes
I swear I be calling. I swear I be calling. I won one. I think I won one pair of like gift certificates, and other than that, it just feel like I never win.
I could never get through with the radio station. I was like, fuck them and fuck all this. I'd be so mad. I used to get
how many summer jams? You know how many summer jam tickets I wanted?
I never. You know, it's crazy. It be people who literally win so much. We put them on a list where you can't win anymore. And I do not understand. Like, we got caller ID, and I'll be like, how in the fuck do I keep picking this bitch as the winner? Like, this hoe must have 7 phones. She must be calling on every single line. And it's to the point where she knows she win a lot, so she be trying to switch up her address and give me a different like
what? I do not have the time to. When I was a kid, I think the only times the radio station was a thing at the time my boyfriend called in and dedicated a song to me. And that was the most embarrassing shit ever. It was embarrassing as fuck. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
What he done?
That's the only time.
What was the song? Happy?
Cheers to You by Player. No, Cheers to You by Player.
That's a good one.
My age.
Cheers to you for giving me. I'll be your angel.
No, okay, let me stop. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and try to wrap up things though, because I know you gotta work or something. You got another 89 different things to do.
No, why
No?
hold on 1 second. I got one more last question.
What
What do you
okay.
think? What do you think about the AI kind of new generation? Do you think AI can necessarily replace the role of a DJ now or the radio personality?
No,
Do you
because
see do you see the influence on them trying it?
um, yes and no. I think that anyone can program music. A computer can for sure do that, but a computer can't give you an opinion and be funny about it. The reason why I stand out to a lot of people is because of my viewpoint and the way I deliver information. Computers don't have souls because they're computers, so they're not gonna give you a personality. So maybe on certain like formats, like if it's a news talk format, maybe. But on a format where it's my job to be personality driven, never. That's just
Okay.
like somebody got to write a book. You could, but I can always tell when it's a chat GPT ass paragraph because I know
Right, because it's somebody. I find you. I hope I find you well. Like change some
like
shit up. Y'all just don't want to.
It'd be the
like
emoji. It'd be
Find
the
you
emoji.
well.
It'd be the emojis be killing me. I'll be like, don't nobody use them emojis. Don't nobody use them whack ass emojis and them paragraphs and them cloud and then another raindrop. It's like,
The star. Like,
yeah,
damn, y'all ain't got no other star to use.
but
Um,
I say if you're a jock, you better have more than one hustle. You better know how to do more than one thing because syndication is very real, and it'll be to a point where you'll have one jock who's doing a show for 5 or 6 different radio stations in different cities. So have
I
more than
have
one
seen that.
hustle. Yeah, have more than one hustle. But I can't see AI. AI never replace me. I'm dope.
yeah.
She's got this thing called the D list. Let's talk about that real quick.
The
Cause
what
I was
list?
like, you know what? It's called the D list.
Wait,
Is
wait,
it?
wait,
Mm-hmm.
wait,
Wait a
wait.
minute, wait a minute. Is it? Hold on. Shut up. He black. He be doing this. He does this whole thing with this pause thing. So let me excuse him for being childish today. Okay. But the D list is what she uses to, is it like to call out? It's almost like the donkey of the day type of thing. No, it's not
Kind
the
of
donkey of the
top
day.
five. It's a top 5 list of satire and sarcasm based on like whatever's going on in entertainment news. Like Finesse 2 Times girlfriend asked him to be her. I was like, damn, do we have any holidays? So I did top 5 holidays for men, but it was stuff like February 15th and the day Grand Theft Auto comes out. So it's just
It's
and you have
hilarious. I,
in my list. Like some people will take it to heart and like really be offended and be like, "Whoa, shit!" I'm like, bro, it's comedy. Laugh. And I like really forget that some people are just stupid and don't understand. Like I'm just joking.
I'll DM her real quick when it's some funny shit because I'll be done spilt out my water laughing and everything. So she has a personality, and I think that that's a great point because I don't think I could do well. I don't want to say I don't think I could do, but it takes a lot to do radio. I will never take. It's the same thing as acting to me. Like I say, I act crazy because I do skits and I act silly. But baby, who ain't finna be in the acting all goddamn on the movie set all 37 hours on the damn is not me. And that's why I'm like, that life ain't for me. The life for radio ain't for me because of what y'all do. And I wanted you to bring that up because there's a whole lot more to it than just sitting in front of the or on the mic, talking on the mic. There's so much more. So I'm glad you shared that with us today. It's a
Behind the
lot.
scenes,
It's a lot.
yeah, like we are actors. Like the behind the scenes we're actors on the microphone, and then when you get off the mic, that's when you got to remember it's a job. And maybe you don't like your boss that day, or maybe you and your coworker don't get along, or you just, you know what I mean? Like real life be happening. So, and it's still your
Yeah.
job to quiet go.
How do you okay? I got more questions now because it's your job and somebody taking your position. Uh, how do you deal with that? Like, because radio is competition. Like, I feel like y'all compete to get the role. Well, I don't know, because the street team, the way that I understand it, you start out as a street team and then you come on up into whatever else. But have you ever been outed of your spot, and then how do you handle that when that happens?
When I got fired from 97.9, they fired me to replace me with Jazzy Black. I mean, it's okay. Everybody get fired, and somebody got to replace you. Like, everyone in radio is gonna quit or get fired. Period. And it was funny because before that happened, I knew it was gonna happen. I literally was at the light on my off day, and I went, "They gonna fire me and replace me with Jazzy Black. My next job gonna be lit though." And that's exactly what happened. Like 4 days later. So I remember I called Jazzy. I told her the morning of her first shift, and I was like, "Hey, kill that shit and have a great fucking show. I'm not mad at you. I don't feel no way about you. Don't kill it." Because her win is not my loss. It's her win. So go do that shit and be great. It's radio. If it's time for me to not be here anymore, cool. Now let me see what's next, because that's your shit now. Let me figure this out for me. And
I love that mindset.
That's all what Kendrick wanted. Was just say, "Bro, you was proud of me," you know.
I mean, Wayne, great.
Kendrick did a lot much with it though. He kind of like rubbed his ass, face, whole body on the concrete, and still doing it.
Yeah, he deserved it, man.
People got to have enough confidence to cheer for other people, and that's a part of entertainment. People in this industry, a lot of them are insecure, so that all they have to depend on is the personality and their persona. And so when you get fired and that radio station not in your Instagram bio no more, it'll fuck with you, and you'll start like your worth. You'll feel like you less than now, and so you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't have that show attached to you anymore. That's why I wake up every day and tell myself who I am before I go be LilD. You got to make sure you got to love that person, because that's the person who's going to be there for you when you get fired. That's the person who's going to remind you that you're without that radio station.
So have you, let me say, witnessed the fall off of somebody because now they don't have the radio station in their bio and they just feel like they're nothing? Really?
Right. You people, after I got fired, another job got fired like a year later. He ain't done radio since. Like, niggas is somewhere in obscurity. When I got fired from the beat, other people got fired with me, and they haven't done radio since, and they struggling, they scrambling, they don't know what to do, they don't have no skill set. Another reason you gotta have more than one hustle. But it's rough for some people when this is all you know and all you have. Like, I know people who did and are begging to get back in, but they can't because maybe they're too scared to leave the city. This ain't no stay in one city your whole career ass kind of career. Like, it might work out for a few people like that, but for most of us, like, this is my 5th city.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Where do you feel like LilD goes next, or where do you feel like the other name goes next? Like the real version of you. Like, is it out of radio? Is it past radio?
Yeah, be rich from writing. My ultimate goal is to live in Manhattan, have a multi-million-dollar apartment there, have a nice big ass house in Shreveport. That's a family house. I'll be there when I visit, but I want to have a multi-million-dollar apartment in New York, and I can wake up every morning, go run in Central Park, and then go to a coffee shop or somewhere and work on this bestseller. I'm a multi-millionaire from being on that computer and writing books, whether it's my book or somebody else's. Like, I love like being able to sit in a Starbucks or something with no makeup on and some sweats on, and I'm just typing.
What's your dream collaboration?
Yeah, like, I want to be able to. I finished Chaotic's book in Atlanta, and I remember just sitting in the Airbnb for 6 hours just typing. I didn't even realize it had been 6 hours, but when I finished it, I was like, "This is amazing." I just sat here in complete silence and typed, and it was so dope. So, like, I see myself, going to London for 2 weeks because maybe the character I'm working on is from London, and now let me be here and experience this shit and eat some tea so I can make sure it's genuine. I'm working on a fiction book now where she moves from Shreveport to Milwaukee and she goes to Little Rock, Memphis, St. Louis, and Milwaukee. I'm gonna take the same road trip so I can make sure that I don't miss nothing. Like
All
that's
the
where I'm gonna
signs
be.
and all the damn. That's dope. So way past radio. Way past
Yeah,
radio.
yeah.
I see myself
We
making money
busy.
off of writing too. I think that's the way to go.
Where can people find your book and content?
You can grab it from my website at alltheabove.net. Or just go to my social media at LilD on air, LILD on air. Click the link in the bio. Everything is there.
Okay.
I wanted to highlight you. I definitely wanted to highlight you because I hadn't seen any interviews where they clipped your ass on the FAA, WFAA thing. I'm like seconds or something, 10 seconds. I'm like, we ain't
Yeah,
getting to know nothing about her.
I appreciate it, but yeah, for sure. It was, but it's cool. When I go back, don't worry. I'll be back. I'll always be back.
Well, I think we'll end the show now. Rather than it be dead air. So I'm your host, J. Marie. E. Black is my guest host for In the Mix, and you are tuning in, and you just witnessed us interview the lovely Miss Little D on air from K104.
Hi D. You taught me a lot, actually. You taught me to believe in myself, to have high self-esteem. You helped me get this in order. You just been like the most inspirational person that I know and that I can look up to. You've been the best sister, been the best mentor. I know I can come to you about anything. You just raw. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you for achieving your dreams. You didn't give up. You kept going. And just continue to be raw. Continue to inspire other young women. And just continue to do the great things that you do. I love you. When you get to Texas, I would like a call.
Hey sis, hey boo. Okay, so I'm making this video to let you know that I appreciate you for everything you've done and for being just a wonderful person that came into my life and all that. Like, I really appreciate you. Like, I really do. I'm so proud of you. I'm truly proud of you. You've been through so much. You've overcame so much. And look where you are today. You got your dream job. You going exactly where you want to go. Closer to home. Closer to your family. Even though I'm your family too. And you was close to me. But I'm going to miss you. I still miss you. But still, I'm proud of you. I'm truly proud of you. You don't understand how proud I am of you. Because people that been through so much stuff. You know I've been through so much. And look where you at. You done overcame all that, regardless of what, regardless of how anybody feel, how anything went in your life. You overcame it all. You are a strong, black, beautiful woman. Like, I am truly glad to be your sister. Like, I swear, I'm glad to be your little sister. Like, for real. I know it's sad that you're leaving. It is. I want to be selfish and tell you don't go, but I can't do that. I can't because you're happy. This is a choice and a decision you made because this is what you always wanted to do. We've always talked about you wanting to be closer to home. And look, you got your dream job. You're close to home. That's the blessing of it all. So, I just wanted to say thank you for being such an amazing person and great person. After all these years, look, I still got the bracelet you gave me when I did the 12 days of Christmas with you. And I thank you for the opportunity because look where I'm at now with my modeling. Like, yes, boo, yes. But, yeah, I'm truly thankful. Thank you so much. I love you. Safe travels. I hope you really enjoy yourself down there. I hope nothing but greatness come to you as it has been, but I cannot wait to see this new journey in your life. I cannot wait to really see how far you go with this. You get what I'm saying? Like, I cannot wait to see that. So, thank you once again. I love you. I hope you enjoy yourself down there. Just best wishes.
Hey, LilD, it's Erica. I just wanted to say thank you. You know, knowing you has taught me that no matter what life hands you, what obstacles you're faced with the right will and determination, you will go on to do great things. You teach me inspiration and you teach me perseverance, and that's something that I will always look to you for. So thank you. Congratulations on this big move, and we love you and we'll miss you.
You're not going anywhere.
In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix,
It's a QOC thing.
mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down.
We about to put you up on game. QOC, you gotta know the name. Keep it real, you know ain't nothing changed. Set the standard, staying in our lane. Yep, that's what you thought. Paying the cost, taking no loss, keeping you up on what's happening. And now that I got your attention, let me mention this.
In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the mix. Let me tell you how it's going down. In the mix, in the mix, in the